So you see that box pop up, clear it off your screen, and then go ahead, have a seat at the front edge. Good to see you, Janona and Tony. Welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. Okay. So scooting to the front edge of the chair, your buttock bones contacting your root, your feeling of connectedness to the earth through the chair. So you're kind of using your legs and you're kind of using your chair, but this central axis line from crown down through the middle of you and then sort of splitting to your roots, feeling that. And an important emphasis in Tai Chi is soft, softening, soft and supple, relaxed. And it recognizes something that we all probably, when you think about it, note that is true, is that we tend to clench and grip and hold, especially when events are happening around us, let's say, or we get into a situation where we feel imbalanced or we're just trying to take in information. The initial reaction of the body is bracing, clenching, gripping. And through Tai Chi practice, Qigong practice, we can clear the muscle pathways, we can clear the nerve pathways, and we sort of master the ability to tell the nervous system to stay down regulated. And also realize that you can be in this down regulated, relaxed, soft, easy state, and yet still be very functional, movable, and in fact, very powerful. So we don't have to brace and tense and get all active to exact force in the world around us, whether it be picking something up or opening something. And so Tai Chi is this study of the state of being that's very at ease, totally comfortable, and yet very potent, very powerful. So everything we do is in that direction. It's guiding us in that direction. So we're sitting and we're breathing, but you're noticing, you're scanning your body for where you are holding rather than releasing. And notice when you release, you don't fall into a puddle on the ground. In fact, there's an integrity, a sort of liquid integrity. The body as a hydraulic system, loose, fluid, loosely connected, and in a state of oneness, one whole liquid body. Last 5 breath cycles here in your meditation, noticing that the softer you are, the freer the space for lung expansion and lung relaxation, as well as blood pumping, nerve flowing. So this soft body allows for the maximum amount of expand and contract, of yin and yang, of opening and closing, which is how we're built. And as we are seated here, we're going to go through just a basic joint mobilization series. Hands sliding forward past the kneecaps, push your back backwards, hollow the chest, and drop the head. Do the opposite. Sliding your hands back, pull your elbows back, lift the chest, and look up towards the sky. Arching. Sliding hands forward, rounding the back. That's known as spinal extension. For the yogis out there, that's cat pose, as you know. And then sliding the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, lifting chest, lifting chin, that spinal extension or cow pose for the cat-cow. So now we're just doing a seated version of this. And in some ways, the seated version allows for a little more in terms of shoulder blade and arm extension this way. And then also this pulling back through the elbows and squishing all the muscles of the middle and upper back. Usual suspect for tension, density, stress, all of that, right? So we're like a big sponge that we're trying to squeeze and wash and clear at a tissue level. And then let's settle back to the middle and just take 2 breaths in the middle. And you might notice your middle or neutral feels a little more open, a little more expanded, because we explored a range and then we settled back to the middle. Same idea with rotations. Let's take left hand. This is my right hand, but I'll say left for your left hand. So I'm your mirror. Left hand goes forward, right hand slides back, elbow back, and then turning the chest and head to the right. Just a very soft rotation right. And then switching, you softly slide and turn. And so think octopus, right? If you've ever seen an octopus and the way their body is so lithe and so liquid, we have that. We are built in such an interesting way that we can move. I don't know if you've ever seen, great hip hop dancing or great modern dancing, this ability for this body of ours to move as if it's sort of like an invertebrate, like it's just got no bones in the way. That fluid quality. So just keep cultivating that with every exercise that we do. And then let's settle back to the middle and take just a couple of breaths, a couple moments in the middle. Notice, can you stay relaxed? Do you have to hold on or can you release? Let's drop the arms alongside the body and we'll just lean liquid to the right. And then easy middle and lean to the left. And just notice, to the degree that you can soften, you can move the body without effort. We're not using tension-based strength to move. Instead, we're using more what you might think of as hydraulics and pneumatics, sort of adjusting where pressure is inside of this liquid system. One more each side. We've got all 24 vertebrae, just gently leaning, tilting. This also helps plump up the vertebral discs. Everything we're doing so far. Let's do one more each way. It just kind of gently centralizes that little pillow in between each vertebra when we just do it gently, non-weight bearing and gentle. Now back to neutral. Couple moments there. Just feel your central channel, known as Chongmai in Qigong and Taoist philosophy. Sushumna Nadi, those of you that do yoga, you may have heard that concept. Same idea. It's this pillar of energy down the middle of us. Now, shoulders, I'll come a little closer so you can see. Shoulders can go forward, and notice what the chest has to do. It hollows. And notice the arms just hanging alongside you are free to migrate or just float a little forward. And then the shoulders can also go back, like you're cracking a walnut between them. And the arms naturally go back, but I'm not pulling my arms back with any effort. They're just hanging. So keep that quality of hanging. Now, shoulders forward, up, back, down. So now we're really going for a sort of thorough disentangling of the meat and tissue barnacles, muscle and connective tissue barnacles, right? So again, shoulder blades spread apart, lift, come towards each other, slide down. Now reverse that. So we start back, up, forward, down. Remember those loose arms just along for the ride. So the arms, you can see in mine, they do something, they float through space, but it's not because I'm grabbing onto my muscles here trying to throw my arm around. It's because I'm moving the shoulder blades and the arms come along for the ride. Right? But that requires us softening and getting out of the way to allow that natural fluid movement. Last one. All right, now bend the elbows, bring the hands up. Now elbows flare out like little chicken wings and up as high as you'd like them to go. Hands stay in front of the body and then down. Then the elbows come towards each other right in front of you and squeeze and relax. Down, out and up. And down. Coming towards each other, gently squeeze. And down. One more. Then elbows pull back behind, straight back, right? Then down, then forward, up, forward, down, back, and again, liquid. Can you execute this movement in that relaxed state so that you're not creating more obstacles to your movement than are necessary? So when we grab onto our bodies, and this is especially important for the Parkinson's crowd, right, is this, if your body tenses up, you can really be your own worst enemy in terms of how to move your body through space. Let's take the elbows out, one above, one below, wrap, hug yourself, and then releasing that, just opening, then the other above, other below, opening, feel that opening that happens in the shoulders, the chest, the abdomen, and then the closing. So this sort of pumps the lymph system, pumps the chi system when we get this opening and closing in our torso. And it also really helps the spine, helps the back to stay mobile and not get too rigid. And elbows down, arms down. Scoot back on your chair a little bit. Make sure you feel very stable. Load up one leg. So that's the knee coming up, but as well the heel drawing back towards your buttock. And then push that foot forward to a straight leg at whatever angle you can get completely straight. Reload, and then set that foot down. Switch, load, push, load, down. Switch, load, push, load, down. Now on this one, hold the foot, hold the leg out there, point and flex. And invert, evert. Circle. Other way, circle. And other leg, load and push, point and flex. Invert, evert. Circle. Other direction, circle. And down. Scoot to the front edge of your chair again, just where we were a moment ago. Swivel steps. So With your left leg, lift the ball of the foot off the floor, turning on the heel, turn the knee and the toes out. Then lift the heel a little bit, turning on the ball of the foot, turn the knee in and the heel swivel steps out. Then the toes go out with the knee. Then heel goes out, knee comes in. Toe out, knee out, and now we're at our maximum width thereabouts. Walk it back in. 1. Heel comes in, knee out. 2. Toe in, knee in. 3. Heel in, knee out. 4. And neutral. Walk it out. 1, 2, 3. Turning from the hip. 4, 5. So the pelvis and other leg are pretty much stable. And this leg is corkscrewing in, corkscrewing out. So it's not just what a lot of people do is they just move the foot, right? And they're just moving at this joint. Focus on from the socket, external rotation. Then internal rotation at the hip socket, external rotation, really open it. Internal rotation, last one, external hold, walk it in. 1, 2. From the hip, down. Other leg, external, heel goes out, knee comes in, internal. External, internal, with the heel going out. Last one, external hold, walk it in. 1, 2, from the hip, and walk it out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. Walk it in. 1, 2. Let's do that one more time, out and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. In. 2, 3, 4. Neutral. Okay. Now from here, legs at about hip distance, maybe a little wider. Forward fold. So this is the most important skill that I'm teaching people of even with Parkinson's, but also a lot of people just as they're up in their years. This is what people forget how to do in order to stand up easily. So it's the hip hinge. Fold at the hips, bow your torso all the way over, and your spine essentially stays straight in relationship to itself. And the moving part is the hips at the leg bone connection. So finding that movement and keeping that greased, keeping that lubricated is absolutely essential. This is like where most of the power is in the body. So now, in order to stand up, we slide our feet back a little bit. But what a lot of people do is they think they're doing that, but they do this. They round their spine and then try to just push straight up. And that puts a lot of stress into the knees. And it's very unsafe because you're forcing yourself up with this wrong kind of power, right? As opposed to fold, stay soft, shoulders out beyond your knees and ankles, forward a little bit. Then from here, we're no longer in the chair. It's just a simple push through the earth. And the body naturally goes really tall, really long. And notice there is no need to grab on like I was talking about at the beginning of class. No need whatsoever. In fact, that keeps you out of your rootedness. When you hold on up here, it makes you easier to fall over as opposed to soft. That allows everything to go through, down through to the rootedness in the earth. Now let's sit down. Same idea from that hip hinge. The butt goes back. Notice I haven't bent the knees yet, and I've already created this shape. Then as the butt sinks, that's what makes your knees bend. And so the knees are perfectly happy. They're not jammed. And then sit back. So let's do that a couple more times. This is what we would call the square version, meaning sharp angles. Sharp angle this way. Very clearly come off the chair and stay folded like this. Then push through the earth and launch yourself upright by going down through the earth. Loose as can be. Again, sharp angles. fold, sink the butt, stay deeply folded, and then sit back upright. So that's the square version. What makes it more round is that you don't actually have to fold that much. You just have to find where's that perfect place where, and then it's just like up through. Same thing on the way down. You don't have to completely fold in half, but you do have to find that sweet spot where it's back enough, and then it's just this right through the space. So we're actually finding and cultivating the slides within the body, the wheels and the slides. So let's do that twice more, where you just practice the round quality of just the amount necessary, loose arms, and fold in half and sink. And you're looking for effortless. Effortless. Remember what I said at the beginning, our natural sort of animalistic response to something work-oriented or stress-oriented is to tighten up, but it's not useful to do that. Now let's do 3 where we don't sit in the chair, but you find that slide and just slide down. And loose arms allow you to even maybe touch the toes, get near the floor, and then push up. Push down so that you rise up. The other important sort of Tai Chi idea is the back opens away from the spine and around. So we don't want to be closing all those areas and walking around with what we think is good posture. We actually want a little bit of round, open, loose back, right? So when you go for these squats, feel that. Tail goes back and feel all these spaces round open, and then just sink, allowing all that opening to increase, and then push to the ground. So this would be a Taoist squat, a sort of Tai Chi squat that pumps the chi through the body. It opens the channels in the back, which actually is very soothing to the nervous system, because that's where the nerves come out of the spine, is right at those little plexes. You just feel that effortless quality there. Now, let's put that together with another movement to make our Qigong movement, known as Sink Chi Wash Organs. So remember, that's your Taoist squat, your Tai Chi squat. Now, from standing, tip yourself a little bit towards the balls of the feet, arms so loose that they swing a little forward. Then when you rock back through the middle and towards the heels, those pendulum arms swing a little bit back. Rock forward, they swing a little bit forward. Rock back, they swing back. Important piece with rocking forward and back. We have more foot out in front of the ankle, so that's why we can kind of tip this way, but we don't have that in the back. So when we go back, the head and shoulders kind of stay forward, and we rock back and from the middle. Rock forward, arms softly swing. Rock back from the middle, arms softly swing. Pendulums. Forward, back. Forward, back. Now, having yourself swung back, your arms are back a little bit. Open up your shoulder wells and float the arms up. Just easy, right through the slide there. Rock to your toes, tipping forward. There's a natural reaching around and forward through the arms, way out in front. When you rock back, let the elbows bend. The hands naturally come in towards the mouth. And as they slide down, they settle right at the middle, at the belly button height middle. And then from here, Tai Chi squat. Butt goes back. By the time you finish your squat, your arms are totally relaxed and long, and then you stand up, keeping all of that length and softness through the body. So that's called Sink Chi Wash Organs. Again, rock back a little, the arms pendulum swing and float up, opening across this shoulder gate area. Rock forward, there's a nice big round reach, dipping into the distance. Rock back, the hands come back towards the mouth, elbows softly bend. Rock to the middle of your feet as your hands come to the middle of the belly. And then little squat, the butt goes back and you feel this opening space called the courtyard, and just slide through the courtyard, feel the back open. Push through the earth and rise. Rock back, forward, back, middle, through. Think of this practice, we're going to do 3 more, like a sloughing off. So when you come back up, arms are hanging loose so that they're super duper loose. And you just notice, you don't have to tense up anything to make this happen. That can be effortless. This rock forward and reach out, effortless. Rock and your palms face up here. Palms face up. So it's like a receiving, drawing in, past the upper gate, rock to the middle, settle to the middle, and then that squat where your butt goes back a little. So as your legs are bending to sink, the arms are straightening, 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 and then they stay straight as you stand back up, back to this middle position. This whole thing can be executed with effortless. So each round becomes more liquid. So that's what a Tai Chi practice, that's the direction you want to think when you're practicing, is you're sloughing off the unnecessary activity in your skin, your layers of fascia and connective tissue, your muscles, your nervous system, and you're helping to reset the relationships of your parts with each other, including the brain and through the nervous system. Because everything's being done in a softening, releasing, returning to natural, standing back tall. Now we do what's called shogong, or closing gesture, wings. Turn your palms up, hands come up over the top, and we settle, settle, settle. The mind sinking to the belly button height of the belly, like a stone falling through water that comes to rest at the bottom. So let's do that gesture one more time, called shogong, shogong, closing gesture. So this is a consolidation, a gathering, and then this settling, settling, the hands representing the mind, settling, and pausing at the middle, known as middle embrace, right? So I'll come closer so you can see the distance of the hands from the belly. I'm not hugging in here, they're just soft, but I'm also not holding my hands, soft, loose. And then release hands down. So now we'll do our Tai Chi, and we're doing Tai Chi basics. Tai Chi basics is like a Tai Chi form would be one movement into another movement, into another movement, into another movement, into another movement, into another movement. And that's very complex to try and learn. So how we're doing it here is the ABCs. We'll repeat movements so that you learn these movements, and someday you might do it in a form if you ever want to learn that, right? So I'm turning at an angle so you can see the angles. You just keep facing forward. So now, as if painting the front wall with the back of your hands. So this loose quality rising up to about shoulder height. Now we don't just reverse and come down in the same shape. We let that shape change. So that happens. And then come down as if you're painting the wall with the tips of the fingers. And then we let that change and then paint the wall. And then there's that change. Shoulders sink, elbows sink, wrists sink, and the fingertips now follow behind. It's called rising hands. One visualization is as if you're magically drawing up water from a well, lifting that water up from a well, then letting the hands roll, the joints roll, and we come back down. 2 more. Remember that idea that each round should lead towards less effort. Each round is a polishing away. It's addition by subtraction. So once you understand that we're actually doing these movements to let go of what's already there, it changes what we're doing. It changes the direction of what we're trying to work on. Now, same quality from low cradle, feeling this round positioning here. Open. As the arms rise, they're in a slightly rounded position. So same idea. We're not just coming back down in the same position. We let them change and sweep down. Again, open. And then shoulders sink, elbows sink, wrists sink, hands sink, fingertips follow. Each round, less effort, less extra, so that you reveal this underlying system that you could think of as the hydraulics, liquid. And the more you use the liquid, the stronger that liquid becomes. The crane flaps its wings. And you can get to the point where this posture, you can create a unbuckling, a loosening of all the joints, right? So that little change there loosens up deep areas of grip. One more. Back down. Now, wings. From here, turn the arms so the palms face slightly up. From there, bend elbows. So this is that same gesture we did a moment ago, just highlighting that it comes around and is slightly in front and then falls right down through that space in front. Now we'll do what's called embrace the moon. Wings. The right hand turns face up a little bit. And then as it comes over the top, the other hand does that crane wing underneath. So now we've got up high, down low, and then bring them towards each other. Then move them away from each other. Do that again, just towards each other, away from each other. So really work on them both moving. So it's not one or the other, or one and then the other, it's simultaneous. Now from here, this hand's going to go out to the wing. This hand's going to swing up to the wing, simultaneous. Timing, 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 wings. Left hand turns palm up. As it comes over the top, right hand comes under. Got low cradle and we've got up high. They come towards each other, away from each other. Think of this like a calibration. You're calibrating the brain to be able to handle asymmetrical movement. Now on this one, keep going, go around, both arms going around, cut no corners, end up at the wings, and then one under, one over. Towards each other, away, around. Timing, 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 all the way back in. Now, no need to rush. Just nice and easy. Now, arms come down. Bend the elbows, the hands come up close to the chest, turn the palms forward-ish, not jamming the joints, but just a little forward. And then as if through the tips of the fingers, push. Then the hands wrap around, draw. push. So we get to find on these next two, this one and the next one, a good feeling of what's called the Ming Men. Okay, so this lower back region, when you push forward, you kind of rock forward, but keep the Ming Men slightly back. That's what keeps us balanced. And then drawing the hands back. Again, you kind of rock into the push, but keep the Ming Men back so you don't go off balance. So the back stays back even as your hands extend. Again, push. So this is what keeps us centered. Push. And back. Now to find the rotation of the Ming Men area. Left hand pushes as right hand stays where it is. Now switch the hand position, go turn left palm to face you, turn right palm to face away. One draw, one push. And then change the hand positions. One draw, one push. And notice there's a natural turning that happens, especially if you're relaxed. If your knees are a little bent, you're a little bit sort of sunk down, just a little, not forcing it, but just not standing locked like this. Find that soft quality through the legs and feel that small rotation right in the lower back area. The Ming Men. And last one, keep the left hand close to the body, bring the right hand back as well. Down they come. Next little bit. Your navel, place your hands over the navel, stacked. Let your body weight shift easily over to the right leg till your left leg becomes loose and not being used as much. Then change that. Weight shifts. And you let the leg take your body weight. Again, remember, hydraulics, liquid, fluid, ease, change. So right now we would call this the lateral portion, right? We're moving just laterally, but we're not moving way over to the left. It's just a little bit over, and then it's more about softening, letting the knee bend a little, letting the joints open to let this leg become free. So there's just a somewhat lateral movement, and then it's mostly qualitative, changing the tension to softness, and then that leg becomes your support leg and the other leg becomes empty. So now that's an underlying sort of principle, is this change of leg to leg, a little bit lateral, but mostly it's just letting yourself get through to the root like a plug in a socket. Now, from the belly, from that Ming Men, as you change to your right leg, turn the belly button to point a little off to the right. So you're in your right leg and your belly button's pointing right. Change to the left leg and then turn. So the turn comes a little bit after. So it's change leg and then turn. Can you keep both your feet on the ground? So you have to soften through the knees, because if the knees are locked, that's when this like lift of the heel tends to happen like that, right? Instead of soft, and then just change the weight and turn a little from your middle, and then change the weight and turn a little from your middle. Now keep your mind at that internal mechanism and let your arms hang. Because we are alive and we have now some chi flowing through the tips of the fingers, the hands start to do what's called the bear washing pause in the stream. So come on closer so you can see the subtlety. This hand turns to face that way. That's called brush knee. And this hand does what's called sweep the leg, like a broom. And then that hand turns around and we brush knee, sweep leg. And then it turns around. Shift right, turn right, brush and sweep. And just remember what we're doing. Liquid, fluid, less effort. each round less effort, and the more you soften, the actual more movability your body will have. So now you can let it be 1, 2, and they sort of swing a little bit more. 1, 2. And so just because we're soft doesn't mean we're not inhabiting the body, right? So we don't want to go limp, right? And have this kind of limp body thing. We're still inhabiting the body. We're still controlling it. It's just we're using the liquid layer and the soft, controlled, relaxed nerves. Now, the bear washing pause becomes the bear swirls the stream. So notice where my hand is going. It's going around the outside, coming in close. And then as that comes across, this goes around the outside. And then the other one goes around the outside. The looser and looser we get, the more buoyancy the body has. So now that swirling stream becomes the bear snatching the fish, the hands up a little higher. Palm facing now the direction that it's going, and then corkscrewing down and through the water. Picture a bear, big, lumbering to some degree. So now, this left hand, your left hand will go through the water as the right arm swings across, and then that one falls into the water as the other hand rises and across. So we're still just changing leg, turning from that middle, and then changing leg, turning from the middle. Changing, turning. Now you're snatching the highest jumping fish here. Most people forget about the hand that drops into the water and they stop inhabiting it. Okay, now from here, let's all go into the right leg. Right arm is up, left hand down in the water. Turn right palm up and fold over here. Remember the push that we did, that push, this arm is now ready for that. It's loaded. So this is brush knee and push. Change leg, turn from your middle, bottom hand brush, top hand push. And then it falls down as the other hand wings up, roll the palm up, fold at the elbow, and now we're ready on this side. The water gates open and we just cross. Let the hands float. And remember that Ming Men center staying in our middle so that even as the hands cast over, we don't lose our middle. We stay where we are. And that combination of letting the limbs float out, but not leaving our middle is what actually round by round opens up interior space. So we're opening interior space between the tissue layers, between the joints. We're actually cultivating internal reservoirs and cavities and spaces. So you might think of it metaphysically at a quantum level, space itself, like the void inside, between, and we're actually softening so that we're actually open at that layer. Last one. So now we all come over to the left leg, stay there. Your right foot should be a bit empty. Bring that foot a little behind you with the foot turned out about 5 or 10 or 15 degrees. Then let your weight go through your right leg like you're sitting in a springy chair or a springy stool, and bring that right hand down to rest on the surface of the water. Bend left elbow, fingers point straight up. So I'll turn slightly sideways so you can see. And this front leg, your left leg, is no longer being used because you're sitting so completely through that back leg that this foot touches out in front with no weight in it whatsoever. That's your goal, at least. Then we're going to switch sides by just bringing the empty foot back with the toes turned out, but no body weight in it yet, right? And then as you change the weight into your left leg, the hands change. Left hand down, bend right elbow, empty right foot just floats out, softly touching the floor, very lightly. Bring that right foot back, no body weight in it, as you set it on the ground. Then internally change the weight. Hands change, foot floats out. Bring the foot back, nothing changes. Change the weight. Everything changes. Foot floats out. Teacup sitting on your head, full to the brim. Bring the foot back, set it down, no spilling of tea. Changing the weight, smooth and liquid, no spilling of the tea. The golden rooster stands on one leg. Foot comes back, no weight change. Then everything changes. Now, keeping this foot out in front, can you disconnect it from the floor? Loose foot. If you can do that, can you then lift? And then come back down and just touch the foot to the floor. Do that again. The key here is don't think of this big heavy leg that you have to yank up. Instead, sit the hip and let this come up effortlessly. Loose, loose, right? And down. So it's like you're gonna sit the hip to get this leg to come up rather than thinking I gotta be so strong, you gotta pull this leg up. It's not that. And set it down. Let's switch legs. So first, change. Set up the hands, get that left foot out in front empty. And then once it's free from the floor, think sitting that hip to bring the knee up. Let it come down, softly touch. Sit that hip. How's your teacup doing? Back down. Sit the hip. Back down. Let's just do two more each side where we change. Hands change and the option to go right into that golden rooster. Set the foot down. Nothing changes. Everything changes. Set the foot down. Nothing changes. And then like you're a transforming. Once more. Change. And down. Feet parallel. Bear washing paws. So let's do everything we just did again. Wash your paws. The goal here would be that each time you wash your paws, it's a little different than the one before, meaning a little looser. That your hands travel maybe a little more buoyant, a little more billowy. Change leg, turn body. Then that soon becomes bear swirls the stream, where the hand stays down in the water but goes around and comes in close. Chances are you're turning too much, right? So, Jim, you're kind of turning this much each time and then turning this much each time. Really notice, watch me for a moment. How much do I actually turn? Not nearly that amount. But I'm loose, so my arms travel, so it can seem like there's some massive turn, but it's just enough turn. Then the bear begins snatching that fish, come across, down into the water. So start low, then maybe a little higher. So this bear is the experience of loosening and feeling how that looseness allows a freedom of the limb to explore space more. Because we often think lifting the arm higher requires more muscle and more work. It's just how we think. But from the hydraulic level, it's not that. It's more about how open are the nooks and crannies and canals between the tissue, between the joints. And then on this next one, turn it into the brush knee and push. So it's this slightly more sophisticated setup. And then it's shift and turn and brush and push. And then it's this slightly more sophisticated change, and then brush and push. Brush and push. So remember, one is low, one is high. Be clear with that. That's another thing for the brain that Tai Chi challenges us with. And so notice which hand is low. So Michelle, your hands are backwards at the moment, but you're right on for the next exercise. What you're doing is just a different move. So this is brush and push, where so you're coming this way. This hand's low, that's brush knee. And this hand's high, push. Very good. And brush and push. Golden rooster stands on one leg. So from here, we transition. Right foot steps a little behind, turned out. As you sit back through that leg, you can either touch the floor or lift. Set that foot down, change, liquid, fluid, loose. The looser you are, yet more centered, the freer you are. So we're opening up the locks and gates so that this fluid body can move unhindered, loose. That's golden rooster. Now, stepping slightly out to the side, feet parallel, bear, wash, pause. So this is kind of our basic. We come back to this. Now, the next one is hands play with clouds. So shift to the right leg, brush and sweep. Then the left hand, the sweeping hand, turns to vapor and rises and becomes a cloud. So notice where it is. This is called ward off. This position has a roundness to it. It's not sharp. It's not too high. It's just comfortable right there. Back of the hand is facing forward. There's a through quality all the way through. This Tai Chi hand, right? So that's the cloud. This hand in the water. So now we shift to the left leg, turn from our middle, cloud and lake. Clouds rain down, the lake vapors up. Shift, turn, cloud, lake, vapor and rain. Shift, turn, cloud, lake, vapor and rain. So this Tai Chi move is usually one of the first advanced moves that I teach, which we'll do today. Because what makes a Tai Chi advanced move is that there's stepping and walking combined with what's happening above. So there's a below and an above. And on Mondays, that's when I'm teaching mostly that walking work, the lower half. So getting comfortable with this, noticing there's a change to one leg and a turning from the middle. And then we stay there as they exchange. And then there's a change of leg and a turn from the middle, and the hands float across. And the hands change. And then there's a shift and a turn. Now, let your hands come down. Keep that in mind, because we're going to come back to that in a moment. But now, we work on the little Tai Chi walk. So, move over to the right side of your space. The weight goes through the right leg, left leg empty. Left leg empty. Now, step the left foot out, but don't put weight in it. So if you watch me for a moment, there's a difference between that and that. And what we want to do is that first one. Out and in. The other thing we want to work on is not reaching way, way out and trying to touch the toe, but staying sunk through this leg and stepping only to the amount you can get your heel down as well. So the whole left foot on the ground, bring it back in, out and in, and there should be no weight change. That's the goal. Now, as you step left foot out, keep it there, change. So now left leg is your full leg, right leg is empty, and change back, right leg full, left leg empty. Change. So you're feeling this upright channel using right leg to plug into your root and left leg. And remember, there's not a huge amount of booty going out. It's just a little bit over and then down through. And a little bit over and down through. One more this way. Right leg empty, bring it in and back out. So we're using this leg as the full leg. So this one's as free as an arm. It's free, it's loose, right? Then bring the right foot in and keep it in, super close together. Now change, so now your right leg is your full leg. And change again, left leg is your full leg. So this is such an important exercise because it forces us to find the internal mechanism of which leg is full and empty, which leg is full and empty. And so it's this internal movement that for most people, it's frozen. Now, through the right leg, left foot empty, step out. Change, bring the weight through the left leg, step right foot in. How's your teacup? Change, step out. Change, step in. Change, step out. Change, step in. Switch directions. Step out, change. Don't glom them together. Separate. The change of weight, the step. Shift without stepping. Step without shifting. Shift without stepping. Step without shifting. Someday that can happen quicker, but make sure you first discern those experiences. Now, sweep the left hand across the leg, vapor up, right hand is in the water. Shift to the left leg and turn, cloud leg. As you vapor and rain with the hands, bring the right foot in close and keep it close. Now, weight goes through the right leg. We don't step it out. We just change the weight into the right leg and turn, cloud leg. As the hands change, the left foot steps out. No body weight. Change leg, turn, cloud leg. The hands haven't exchanged here. Michelle, keep your left hand high, right hand low. So all we did was come across. Then the hands change over here as you bring the right foot in. Then shift into that right leg, turn from your middle, cloud and leg. Vapor and rain as you step left foot out. Shift and turn in, cloud and leg. Vapor and rain, step right foot in. One more in that direction. Shift and turn. As you vapor rain, step out. Shift and turn. Now we switch directions by vapor, rain, step in and back out with the same leg, and we head that way. Shift, turn, cloud leg. Vapor, rain, step in. Shift, turn, cloud leg. Vapor, rain, step out. Don't shift your weight yet though. So make sure you have that. Yeah. Shift, turn, cloud leg. The hands don't change, they just go across. The hands don't go up and down, they just come across. Then from here, they change height and bring the foot in. Shift, turn, cloud leg. Vapor, rain, step out. Let's do it there and back one more time. So step out. So keep it simple. Shift, turn, cloud, leg. When your hands vapor and rain, the step comes in. Shift and turn and cloud and leg. Don't change your hands up and down here. They just go cloud and leg. Then once they're over here, vapor and rain, step out. Shift, turn, cloud stays in the sky, lake stays down low, and then they change as you step in. Remember, don't change the hands up and down when you come across. Then they exchange. Nope, we're stepping left foot out. Left foot out. Shift and turn. Now we'll change directions here. So as you change the hands, right hand should be high, left low. Bring right foot in, back out. Shift, turn, cloud, lake. As they vapor and rain, bring the left foot in. The left foot should be empty. And then we put the weight through the left leg and turn to the left. Step the right foot out as your hands change, and then shift, turn. And then the hands change. And you step in, and then and wash your paws, wash your paws, softly to the middle. 3 sync chi wash organs. Rock back, open the shoulder wells, hands float up. Rock forward, cast out through the fingertips, palms turn up. Rock back like you're inviting in through the upper gate, the mouth, down to the middle as you rock to the middle. And then the Taoist squat. Tush goes back, slide. Open the back body, loose. Push through the earth, rise back to standing. 2 more. Rock back. Rock forward. Rock back. Rock middle. Tail sneaks back and then sink and slide. Rise back up. 1 more. Rock. 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 Settle. And through. Shogong, or closing gesture. Wing, roll, up over. The stone, the mind settling like that stone. Belly button height, hands right about that height. Helping our mind to find that nestled place, that middle of the middle of the middle of the middle of the middle of us. And then we seal. 1 over the belly button. 2. Soft, relaxed, at ease. The Taoist bow. Grabbing thumb, folding over, creating that sort of yin-yang symbol looking item. Right? There's many hand mudras that people do in martial arts and in yoga and that type of thing. This is just another one, but its representation is yin and yang harmonizing, equal opposites harmonizing. And so we get that quality there. And then we'll bow to close. So find your comfortable seat. I'm sure that some of you have places you got to be, so you're welcome to just wave and sign off. But always like to chit chat after if you have any questions, comments, whatever. So you'll have to unmute yourself if you do have any questions.
Oh, I've been away for a bit, and boy.
What, boy, exhausting? Boy, what?
No, it's just my body, standing and all that, which is good. But I had some doctors the whole month last month, and it was like, I missed this, but I'm back.
Great. And remember, the videos are there on the YouTube for you to observe. And so no excuses if you can avoid. Yeah.
Thank
Great,
you.
Michelle. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. It was it's a lot different than yoga, a little more
Yeah.
a little more less striving than yoga. Yoga is, one level down from real life striving, and then this is less striving than that. So very
I've studied both. I went to school at Naropa. Maybe you've heard of Naropa in Boulder, but it's a really interesting, college. But anyway, studying yoga and Tai Chi simultaneously over about 4.5 years. And they're so different, right? But yet we know that they both have incredible value. And so how I see yoga is it's like it's similar to it's easier to understand some of the movements and shapes. They're a little more linear, especially in the beginning. It can also get very complex and twisted and whatnot, but it's very good at what it's good at in terms of, planks and down dogs and side planks. It really helps to charge up the body. And it's this wonderful practice. And then Tai Chi is really about how to move through space, it's about the transforming of things, where yoga can be a little static, right? It can be like hold, and maybe there's a little bit of movement internally, but there's a lot of holding. Whereas that emphasis on fluidity, and which is why I think Tai Chi can be so good for the Parkinson's community, because it's really, hopefully you guys get a feel of it the more you do it, of like, hey, I can move with less striving. As Michelle, you're pointing out, I don't have to strive, because with Parkinson's, that striving, at least in what I've witnessed, and I'm sure you guys have experienced, it can become, that striving is the obstacle that makes you freeze or makes you unable to act. So it's a pretty big deal. Any other thought on that?
I like the Tai Chi flowing kind of idea, and cleaning out the junk that's in there.
The debris.
The debris and everything that all the words that you use that are so.
Great.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Because I tend to feel so stiff, and after class I'm feeling